There are two reasons why you might not be following the calling for your life. Reason number one, you don't know what that is. That's simple. Reason number two, though, you've been listening to voices that are sabotaging it. If you still don't know the calling for your life, I had other videos for you. But if you've been listening to voices that are sabotaging your calling, this video is for you. Keep watching. I'm Christian Sisson, founder of NewMeFy.com, an online space where you discover your purpose, become the new you, and start a new life. And I've rebuilt myself many, many times coming out of depression, addictions, and absolute collapse. And in the process, I've cracked the code of purpose. This is what you're going to find at this YouTube channel. Keep watching. One of the greatest wake-up calls in life is realizing you've been living someone else's life. How do you know? It's simple. You wake up exhausted. Your energy drains halfway through the day. You can't focus on what matters. You procrastinate. That's a big one. You paralyze out of fear of the future. And even when things look successful on the outside, something inside is still missing. Here's the question that exposes the truth. Whose daily plan am I actually following? The answer to that question will reveal the voices that have been sabotaging your calling. And what voices am I talking about? 4 types of voices. Number 1, voices of expectation. Number 2, voices of approval. Number 3, voices of fear. Number 4, voices of culture. When those voices get loud enough, they slowly drown out the one and only voice that actually matters, your calling. Because if your life is being shaped by someone else's expectations, someone else's approval, someone else's definition of success, or someone else's agenda, you are not living your calling. You're performing someone else's script. Truman Show, anyone? I don't believe most people consciously reject their calling. What I believe, though, is they slowly give authority to other voices. The voice of expectations, living the life others think you should live. The voice of approval, hiding your calling so you won't disappoint anyone. The voice of fear, procrastinating on the things that matter most, or paralyzing when you shouldn't be moving. The voice of culture, chasing a definition of success that was never meant for you, or going down ideological paths that will cost you your future. These are different voices, but the same result. You drift away from who you were meant to become. Remember, purpose is not invented. It's not something you come up with. Purpose is revealed. Purpose is discovered. A creation does not define its own purpose. It receives it from its creator. A watch doesn't decide what time means. It follows the design of the watchmaker. And the same is true for your life. When you let other voices dictate your decisions, you move further and further and further away from the design you were created for. I had to learn this the hard way. For years, I was living under my father's expectations, following plans that were never truly mine, but his, trying to become someone that fits someone else's vision, and eventually my life collapsed. Because living someone else's calling would always drain your soul. Realignment only begins when you stop asking everyone else what you should be doing and start asking the one who designed you. So old me, new me, NewMeFy, I would say the old me listens to the loudest voice in the room. Voices of expectations, voices of approval, voices of fear, voices of culture, and slowly becomes a stranger to their own calling. But the new me learns to silence the noise. The new me questions the voices shaping their decisions. The new me focuses on the one and only signal that matters and realigns with the purpose they were actually created for. NewMeFy is how you strip away the voices that don't belong so you can finally step into the life you were designed to live. If something in you knows you're not living the life you were born for because too many voices are shaping your decisions, keep watching. These teachings will pull you out of your old self into the new you on purpose. Subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment with the voice you've been listening the most. Till the next video, signing off.